Murder 101, The Locked Room Mystery, was released in 2008. It's directed by David S. Cass Sr. It's written by Walter Klenhard, and we have a cast including Dick Van Dyke as Dr. Jonathan Maxwell and Barry Van Dyke as Mike Bryant. This is the fourth and final Murder 101 film, and I didn't love it. I liked the concept, but I didn't think the execution was particularly fascinating. It was watchable. It wasn't terrible, but I definitely didn't think it was very strong. This is set at this New Age retreat, and somebody is murdered, as the title suggests, in a locked room. How could that be? Because everybody else there is meditating. They're in this trance. How could they have done it? Well, I guess as a concept, it was fascinating. I was keen to find out who was responsible for this, and I wouldn't say I was emotionally invested in it too much, but I was a little curious. However, the actual specifics of the film are just not that interesting. They're fine, they're not badly done or anything, but I never found it to be that exciting or that engaging. So it's definitely one of those films that works well enough, but from start to finish there wasn't enough to keep me fully engaged. That being said, do I recommend it? I'd say yes if you've seen the other films. As I said, it's not badly done, it's just not thoroughly exciting, and compared with some of the others, it's not as strong. That being said, I'd say it's not the weakest. The horse one, while still okay, was definitely my least favourite. But I think this one's probably my second least favourite. But considering that's only out of 4 films, that's not the boldest statement. The narrative was fine, just not that interesting. Characters, well written, really good performances. Camera work, fine. Technical aspects, absolutely no problems there. I think it was just the story that maybe could have been a little bit more compelling. There were times, don't get me wrong, there were times when it was quite fascinating, but then it would dip again. But as I said, I was still ultimately quite keen to see what had happened. So not a bad film, not a bad story, but not as exciting or as fascinating as it could have been. Well-written characters. I'm still loving Maxwell as a character. And while the Murder 101 films haven't been as strong as, say, some of Hallmark's later mystery series, I've liked them enough. I've enjoyed them well enough, and I've really loved the character of Maxwell, to the point where I actually am a little sad that we've come to the end of them. Yes, the narratives maybe haven't been as strong as some other Hallmark mysteries, but Maxwell as a character definitely is. Very, very well written character, really fun, really great performances, of course, from Dick Van Dyke. So, in general, Murder 101, The Locked Room Mystery is not great, but it is watchable. I'd say a little more than watchable. It's not a bad experience. I'm not completely devastated the series is over, but I would have liked to have seen more from Maxwell. So all things considered, I guess I recommend the film if you've seen the previous ones and liked them. If you haven't really enjoyed the other ones, then you probably won't like this unless the narrative is really appealing to you. But in general, it's an okay film, not my favourite in the short series, but nevertheless, Murder 101, The Locked Room Mystery is not too bad, and if it appeals to you for whatever reason, then I'd say it might be worth watching.